Hello, my name is Maria Florencia Roca Gonzalez, a qualified technician in vegetable organic production, graduate with honor from the University of Buenos Aires, and the founder of the Crop School channel. Today we are with Betty Cavara, director of the Food Initiative at the Rockefeller Foundation. Nice to meet you, Betty, and welcome to the channel.
Thank you so much. I'm also excited to be into this panel.
From regenerative agriculture to energy transition and public health, dive in how the Rockefeller Foundation is addressing humanity's most pressing problems. Stay with us until the end to uncover transformative solutions shaping our future. Okay, I would like to begin the interview by asking you the following. How does the Rockefeller Foundation promote regenerative agriculture?
All right, thanks. That's a very good question. I can begin by saying that the Rockefeller Foundation, of course, we have a long-standing commitment to improve the lives and the planet and to unleash the human potential through innovations. And we know regenerative agriculture is very, very important in terms of enabling soil health and well-being of the people and the planet. But the biggest challenge has been around finance. How do you finance for transitioning to regenerative agriculture? So the Rockefeller Foundation, in partnership with other development partners, we are working together on collaborative finance that is going to advance regenerative agriculture. And just to give an example, we are trying to see how do you link regenerative agriculture with the school feeding programs. There are 418 million learners who are on school feeding program every day. But mostly they eat food which is produced in conventional ways. But if we can use this market, the huge market, the 48 billion market, then you can encourage the farmers to produce the food in ways which are regeneratively, and then we link the school feeding program with regenerative agriculture. So that's how we are hoping to influence the regen ag space.
Well, how are AI-powered tools like Farmer.chat and Digital Green addressing climate challenges?
Yeah, so digital greens, let me start with the digital greens. We know that it was actually founded on the belief that technology can really help to end poverty, but also to meet the climate challenge. So Digital Green, from when they were founded, they have actually reached about 6 million farmers, and of which we know 60% of those are women. And data which comes from the Digital Green shows that there has been, in some cases, there have been an increase of 27% increase in smallholder farmers' profit once they're accessing all these technological and innovation information from Digital Green. Now, let's segue into FarmChat to your second question. Yeah, FarmChat is making it easier and cheaper for extension agents. We know, it's very, very expensive for each and every extension agent to go to each and every farmer. But if they are going to be using FarmChat, then it is less expensive, and it's cheaper. And FarmChat works with a lot of farmers in India to promote timely and accurate data. And actually, in India, they have about 5,000 field officers who are working in 5 states and using FarmChat. How is the Rockefeller Foundation involved? The Rockefeller Foundation is now supporting efforts to operationalize the app through extension agents who are going to be providing, information to farmers. Yeah. So that's what I can say about FarmChat and Digital Greens.
Amazing.
AI
amazing.
go.
Yes. How does the Global Energy Alliance promote renewable energy and economic growth in regions with limited access?
Okay. Yeah, so the Global Energy Alliance, or what we abbreviate as GEAP, it actually is an initiative that was set up by the Rockefeller Foundation in partnership with IKEA Foundation and Bezo Earth Fund and many other partners have now come in. But GEAP works to tackle the energy poverty and climate crisis by developing scalable innovations, green energy solutions in developing and emerging economies. And we know there is a big challenge. Access to electricity is actually a fundamental human right. And but in most cases, many countries and many rural populations have no access to energy. So achieving our shared objective of expanding energy access to about 300 million more Africans requires a broader coalition. We also need action from government, from financiers, and from multilateral development. And that's why, together with the Global Energy Alliance, we are strengthening our partnership to support projects on the ground. Because in some cases, there are, funding is there, but maybe the way of accessing that funding to make sure that we see real traction on the ground. So just to mention a good example, in the most recent 79th United Nations General Assembly in New York, GEAP and the Planet Leadership Council, they actually convinced a dozen of governments and financials and private sector to get more support and commit resources to accelerate what we're calling Mission 300. And Mission 300 is aiming at increasing access to electricity for 300 million people. And here we are, it's a partnership between, including, which is being led by the World Bank and the African Development Bank. So the Rockefeller Foundation Beyond Food, we are also in renewable energy in partnership with GEAP.
Yes, absolutely. How does the Energy Transition Accelerator use carbon credit to achieve emission reduction?
The U.S. Department of State, the Bezo Earth Fund, and the Rockefeller Foundation actually formed the Energy Transition Accelerator in 2022. And the goal was connecting willing sellers and buyers, employing high integrity carbon credit to support the fast energy transitions. The Energy Transition Accelerator is actually a pioneer it's pioneering an innovative approach to carbon credit that is going to do a number of things, enable host countries to generate high quality carbon credit as a way to finance their transition from the fossil generated to clean power in a way that makes sure that they're delivering results faster and deepening greenhouse gas reductions. So ETA, what I call the Energy Transition Accelerator, actually mobilizes financing by forming coalitions, whether it's with companies or with institutions who are committed to paying for verified power sector transmissions.
What funding challenges do countries face for climate health solutions, and how is the foundation tackling them?
Yeah. So the Rockefeller Foundation, of course, works cross-cutting in issues of climate and health and climate and food, but specifically on the climate and health, the Rockefeller Foundation is working to close the estimated about 10 billion gap in adaptation finance for health system to ensure that countries get more access to climate financing that respond to their priorities and needs of the vulnerable communities. We know also countries face operational and financing challenges in climate and in health, and we see there are many opportunities to improve local capacity and policy advocacy and data-driven investment strategies. And just to give maybe this is a little bit far-fetched, but Kenya is one country that has been acknowledged as a leader in school meals, and it's committed to universal school meals coverage, and we just did a launch of the operational plan for scaling the number of learners who are consuming food, from 2 million to about 10 million. So in a way, we also do believe there is quite some financing that is even required to help to transition to more climate-friendly programs that also have a link between health and climate. For example, when you're contributing to school feeding programs, you're also improving the health of the learners and enabling the learners to continue being in school.
And how does the new Frontiers initiative identify and accelerate ideas for humanity's most pressing problems?
Yeah, very good question. I can start by saying that innovation is critical to deal with a challenging world and increasing sustainability and equitably supporting the human beings. And when you're looking at new frontiers, you ask questions that lead to big bets. I think you will hear Rockefeller talking about the big bet. And we imagine what would happen if institutions and organizations had the resources they needed to solve most pressing human problems. By identifying and accelerating this idea, then we can lift people and the planet. And I want to maybe give one of a very good example. How we do this. We do this through research, we do this through convening, we do this through catalytic funding. And a good example of an initiative which we are now designing, which really uses the innovations around research and convening and catalytic funding to solve big problems, is an initiative which we are now designing on expanding school feeding programs. Right now, 418 million learners are on school feeding program, but we need to expand this by another 150 million. But how are we going to do that? With governments, having their stretched budgets, we are now coming together we have like 3 or 4 partners where we are coming together to coordinate our investment towards providing access to school feeding programs for the learners. So that's just an example of a big bet or how we are using the New Frontier Initiative. And of course, the other big bet for us was the Global Energy Alliance, where we brought in different partners to come and develop this organization that is solving energy issues. Now we are coming together to do the same, but for the school feeding programs.
And how is the Zero Gap Fund attracting private investment for community benefit?
Yeah, Zero Gap Fund. I think RF has quite a number of funds. It's actually in the 5th year, and it has committed about 30 million across 12 investments, and we have mobilized about 1 billion from partners who are seeking to address challenges on climate, challenges in regenerative agriculture, financial inclusion, and other essential services. So what is unique about the Zero Gap Fund is that it deploys a flexible, patient, risk-tolerant capital to catalyzing private investments in ways which are really strategic, but also very well aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And the fund's mandate is to support innovative product structures that are replicable, structures which are scalable, and that demonstrate new solutions that drive the needed financial global good. So that's what we have been doing, and the Rockefeller Foundation actually pioneers the catalytic capital investment for the Zero Gap Fund.
How does wastewater surveillance improve public health in the context of climate transition?
Yeah, very good question. And let me start by saying that climate change has amplified, it amplifies epidemics and raises the risks which are associated with pandemics. And if we just look back and take an example of COVID-19 pandemic, it really helped to shape the world's economic and political and environmental course. And for us to mitigate the future threats, the world needs multi-sectoral, intercontinental collaboration. It also needs to become very, very innovative. And so the wastewater sampling has been a part of the disease surveillance for, many years. And, in the past, it has been used to also detect, diseases like polio. So during COVID-19, the watershed surveillance emerged as a valuable public health tool for tracking burden and the spread of infectious diseases. And, how does this compare with the traditional surveillance? Traditional surveillance system are ill-equipped to handle climate change-driven shifts in pathogen dynamic. So if you pair wastewater surveillance, it's really a cost-effective and flexible and scalable approaches for generating high-resolution health data. Yeah, so I think what I can say, I think, is just one way of detecting diseases by tapping into the water waste sampling.
And how does the Bellagio Center transform ideas into action that define our present and shape our future?
Fantastic question. So beside our offices in New York, in Thailand, in Nairobi, in Washington, and now a new office in Asia. The Bellagio Center is actually based in Italy, and we use the center to leverage every other part of the Rockefeller Foundation. And the center is actually used for convening and residence program. And so for the last 60 years, the foundation, has held the Bellagio Center, which has really brought together a diverse, multifaceted group of residents and made quite a lot of convenings, at Bellagio. And every year, just to put this into context, the Bellagio Center actually provides, place for about 100 leaders from all over the world to come in there and stay for a whole month and to advance specific breakthrough projects. And just I can highlight a few, for example, some of the former residents of the Bellagio includes the Nobel laureate Joseph Stiglitz. And then we have other renowned authors like Maya Angelou. And then, yeah, policymakers like Mary Robinson, who is very, very well known. And that is on the side of the leaders who come in Bellagio for residency. But then we also have the Bellagio Center is also used for convening. Annually, we have maybe more than 50 convenings which are held in Bellagio. And through these convenings, we have seen the birth of many landmark initiatives, whether it's in energy, in food, and in health. And I just give you an example again, the Global Energy Alliance for People and Planet was actually thought through there and designed at Bellagio. The Global Alliance for Vaccine and Immunization, CGIAR, Global Impact Investing Network, AGRA, and many other organizations. So as we think about 2025, as we go to the new year, we are interested in supporting leaders, organizations who are working on solutions that address climate change at the intersection of the areas that we work in, whether it's energy, food, financial systems, and global policy. But Bellagio is such an exciting place to do what they call we call promoting international understanding, because we are hosting residents and conference people who are attending conference from all over the world. Then you have an opportunity to blend in ideas from different continents of the world.
Last but not least, how is AI helping to find and replace lead pipes, and how does it benefit public health?
All right. So let me start by saying that the largest source of lead in US drinking water is actually the underground pipes connecting homes to the local water systems. And we know that these cities were built a long time ago, 19th and 20th centuries, and lead water pipes were actually used because, of course, positive reasons were durable. But now we understand that lead is toxic, and however, lead may still exist in buried services lines, which are underground, connecting the homes into water pipes. So it's quite exciting to know that the machine learning algorithm can actually be used to detect the lead pipes, and AI-based and previous, cities where they could go and dig up the streets and test pipes directly to see where the lead is or is not. But you can imagine having a technology or a tool that allows you just to use the AI to know exactly this is where the pipe is, which we need to get to bring out and change it. So there is one company called the Blue Conduit, which is actually funded by the Rockefeller Foundation and the Google org. And yeah, it's working with the US cities to also overlay additional population information so that the cities can really prioritize which pipes do we need to remove first. Just to give you an example, the city of Detroit, which has an estimated 80,000 lead pipes, did not need to remove over the next 10 years, as the big question is, where are these pipes? Which ones do we remove? Which one do we prioritize? Yeah, so Detroit has estimated savings in hundreds of millions using the Blue Conduit analysis. So I think there is a role for AI to even do things that we never thought could actually be done.
Well, Betty, thank you for the conversation. I really appreciate for taking your time to give me the interview.
All right, thanks so much. I've also enjoyed the interview, and very excited about the fact that the Rockefeller Foundation also works around AI innovations. We are working on school feeding programs. We are working in the issues of energy, and we continue to be driven by our mission which has really not changed. The Rockefeller Foundation mission is to improve the well-being of humanity. And, we do this using, different initiatives and different investments.
Yes, there are lots of initiatives, and they're one better than the other. They're amazing. They're truly inspiring. Thanks for joining us. If you learned something new, please subscribe and share the video. Have a wonderful day. Bye.